may we be revived, that it will spread throughout communities, that people will see that God has certainly visited this place.
All right, amen, my Lord.
The World's Bible Handbook by Robert Lloyd states, he says, when we are revived, we are then in a position not only to pray, but for God to hear and answer our prayer.
All right, all right.
He stated in this book, he says, maybe we can have an old-fashioned revival if all the sleeping folk would wake up. Come on, man. We can have a revival if all the lukewarm folk would fire up. All right. Maybe we can have a revival if all the dishonest folk would confess up. All the disgruntled folk would sweeten up. Come on, man. All the discouraged folk would cheer up. All the depressed folk would look up. All the estranged folk would make up. All the gossipers would shut up. Shake up. All the true soldiers would stand up. All the tight wards would pay up. All the church members would pray. Each one of us is called upon to examine ourselves. Lord, is it I? That's the question we must ask ourselves. God has truly given us a remedy for revival.
Oh my God.
Somebody might ask, what is a remedy? Well, according to Webster's New Word Dictionary, a remedy is any medicine or treatment that cures, heals, or relieves a disease or bodily disorder, deadens pain, or intends to restore health. Something that corrects, counteracts, or removes an evil or wrong. That's what it means. Many of us grew up in homes years ago where mama, grandma, dad, and granddaddy lived. And a host of others had remedies for all kinds of sickness. Those remedies work, and sometimes in this 21st century we find ourselves using some of these. In our lesson text tonight, God gives a remedy for healing and restoration of a nation. However, even though this was written and spoken to Solomon to give to the people of Israel, it is still working today. For I do believe the Bible said that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. In chapter 6 of 2 Chronicles, verse 14 through 42, Solomon pours out his heart to God.
Tell the story.
On behalf of the people and for himself. Today, more than ever, the church needs to cry out to God for the church, for leaders, for pastors, for sinners, and for this great nation of ours. Like Israel, who had drifted so far from God, we too, as a people of God and certainly this nation, have done the same. We truly need spiritual revival. All across this great land of ours, pastors and preachers are saying the same thing. We need a revival. One of our Sunday school lessons this past year talked about how people had taken the temple of God and made it more commercial than spiritual. Proper worship of God had deteriorated. Where God was supposed sin of worship, other things had crept in and interfered with God's purpose. We must get back to the basis of being obedient unto God. We must return to the true meaning of Christianity. For God did say in His Word that we must worship Him in the way that He is supposed to be worshipped. And Jesus wrote and said in John 4:23 and 24, He says, but the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshiper shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship Him. God is a spirit. And they that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth. In other words, our hearts must be pure and right with God. Yeah, nobody shouldn't have to pacify us. Come on, man. Nobody should have to pay us. Nobody should have to offer us some food. We ought to have a worship down on the inside. Have a worship on the inside. God is God. We must do away with, take off anything that does not truly represent God. Come, sir. Come, sir. Come, sir. 12:1. We are in a revival, right? Listen, I'm convicted tonight that nobody in here has the right to point no finger. It says, let us lay aside every weight and sin that beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus. Yes, sir. My brothers and sisters, God is speaking. This world is filled with so much corruption. Even in our Christian home. And in the church of God, there is corruption. Help us. Many of us are suffering from brokenness. Many of us are suffering from discouragement, from disappointment, from sickness, from setback. Many of us are hurting and confused. But I got a news for you tonight. God can deliver us. We're God's chosen people. Yes, sir. 1 Peter 2:9, Peter declares, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, peculiar people, that you should show forth the praise of Him who have called you out of darkness to a marvelous light. 1:4 says, He has chosen us in Him. Come on, Jesus, before the foundation of the world, we should be holy and without blame before Him. Yes, sir. Preach, preacher. Come on, man. Jesus Christ gave some specifications. All right. Come on. About our status in the world. Matthew 5:13-16. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith should it be salt? It is thenceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. City that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candle and give it light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine. O men, that they may see your good works, and glorify not yourself, but glorify in these verses tonight, Jesus gives us our true meaning, purpose in this dark world. However, we need a revival so that we can be effective witnesses in the world. The world should see Christ in us, through us, and in our actions. The church is in a ripe age. The fields are white and ready to be harvested. You don't have to tell nobody what they're doing. Just go off the light. Somebody may be singing. You don't have to scandalize nobody. You don't have to tell nobody how you look. You ain't been too long got this. We need to be willing and righteous labor. We should examine ourselves tonight. We need the Lord. And we need to get right with Him. God has given us a remedy for deliverance. For the church, for the nation, for families, and personally. This remedy must be applied before it will work. But if it is applied, God promises to back it up. Oh, I know right now. Yes, sir. I believe I've already established the fact that if we have truly believed God and trusted His salvation plan, we are God's chosen people. As God's chosen people, we need a spiritual revival. God gave 4 things that we must do in order to be revived.
Tell us. Come on, man.
Number 1, we must humble ourselves.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Yes, it's in there.
Can I work with you?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Many times we cannot see our wrongs for looking at somebody else. Humility, however, says, it's not my brother, it's not my sister, it's not my pastor, it's not my church, it's not my mother, it's not my father, but it's me, God, standing. We must lose our self-righteous pride.
Yes, right.
We must admit that we all need Jesus and cannot do anything ourselves without Him. We must bring ourselves to the mercy seat of God. We have nothing to brag on. James 4:10 says, humble yourself in the sight of God, and He shall lift you up. James 5:6 says, humble yourself therefore under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you and you season. God is all right tonight. I know He's all right. David is a good example of humility, for when he was convicted of his sin, he did not blame no one but himself. In Psalm 51, David didn't blame Bathsheba, but he said, Lord, against Thee and Thee only have I sinned and done this evil in Thy sight, that Thou mightest be justified when Thou speakest and be clear when Thou judgest. David said in that same verse, in that same scripture, he said, Lord, create in me. Create in me, oh God, clean heart. Listen, if our love for one another has grown cold, we must be revived so that we can love as we should.
Amen. Come on, man.
Are we like the church of Ephesus? Who have lost their first love? Come on. In order to be revived, we must be totally surrendered to God. Take me back, dear 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 God. Suckling in the night, suckling in the night, suckling in the night, suckling in the night, suckling in the night. Suckling in the night, suckling in the night. We got to do some praying. Prayer is just simply talking to God. Having a conversation in the name of Jesus. It is coming to Him with our hearts and minds in a spirit of truth. Amen. Come on now. We must pray unhurriedly. We must pray trusting. We must pray with a surrendering heart. We must pray with a forgiving spirit. Do you have anything against anybody tonight? In Luke 18:1, I don't mean no harm tonight, but we're in the Bible. Jesus spoke a parable to them and said to this end that men ought to always pray, not to faint. In 1 Thessalonians 5:17, Paul told the church, pray without ceasing. The Amplified New Testament says, be unceasing in prayer. Praying, persevering. James 5:16 says, the effective of fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.